There's a thing going on right now. I don't know if you guys know this. Agora Pulse is doing a great LinkedIn Summit today. And I'm capturing the sessions because I don't have time to do that because I actually have to do work. But I'm capturing the sessions and on a doc. I'm happy to share it with y'all.
Nice.
But it's a Wistia. So Wistia allows you to grab the session in the thumbnail.
Sweet.
Yeah. There's a lot of concurrent sessions going on. It's impossible to hear, three at the same. So yeah, and let me make a note of that to send that. Isaac, you could be the aggregator of the doc I sent you.
Yeah, Agora aggregator.
I usually try to be on those, and I use it on I'm not able to, but I put it on a second computer. So it just kind of runs over there while I do my work. Instead of a second window, a second computer. So it's just sitting there running. I can just kind of pause what I'm doing and go on over and do it. Well, they're so long. Who can spend a whole day? And some of them are multi-day.
Yeah.
And multiple sessions and stuff. I presented at them before and stuff.
They have three an hour going on.
Yeah.
And I reserved for all of them. Because then maybe they'll send out the recordings. I don't know. Anyone else going to, one thing I was thinking about, I was supposed to be getting ready to go to Inbound. I don't know if anyone else knows about Inbound. It's HubSpot's marketing conference. And I was psyched because this would have been year 2. And I canceled the ticket, I don't know, a couple months back because I said there's no way they're going to do a 24,000 convention, people convention. Is anyone, what do you guys think about doing these, these virtual conferences? Because like you said, Mike, it's a time suck. I mean, can we sit in front of the computer for 6 hours on all these sessions? I mean, how are people delivering content now? Educational content, informational content, you guys, it's a little bit off the track of what we're doing on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn being the business platform, a lot of our industries have trade shows. So what are you guys seeing?
I think there's less value for the attendee on the virtual side because you don't make the in real life connections. It's nice that you can rewatch stuff and then maybe times 2 the speed. But I don't know. I really like the connections I make at those events after, probably just as much as the knowledge.
Well, the thing is that, well, 2 things about that. First of all, I have always wondered for years how the hell people found time to go to half a dozen in-person conferences a year or had the budget for it. So I've never been, I've basically, I go to a conference if you're paying me to speak, including my travel and expenses. And those are the only conferences I ever go to. The other side is that there are some conferences that have structure, that have mechanisms for having that that kind of for getting to meet people. It may not be quite as just kind of random synchronicity driven as it happens face to face, but I've seen ones that have that if they have a good chat going in the sidebar and they have ways for you to go and have a breakout chat with somebody and they have breakout times, and so I've seen some of that done, and I think to your point, that's the thing that organizations who are putting on these events need to figure out how to accommodate more of that within those virtual conferences and get people used to the idea that can happen.
Yeah. Well, just one thing to tie it back to LinkedIn, what I've been doing, and it's actually proven to be a good engagement tool, is I look at all the speakers and I reach out and connect with them if I'm not already connected, and I mentioned their particular presentation. We connect, and then what I'll do is afterwards, when I view whatever their thing is, I'll send them a note back and thank them, and also post something and tag them. So it's a good way to use LinkedIn to leverage, and grow your network strategically, because usually speakers have an audience, right? Most of them do. And then by sharing it out on LinkedIn, it gives you some good content. So you could be the one that's like the representative, that attends all these. And usually there, if you follow the hashtags, you can find the information out there. So that's just one of the tactics. But yeah, I think it's Scott. Yeah, one of the things when I budgeted for Social Media Marketing World in 2018, I think was my first year, or 2017, that was a game changer, because I met people like Jay Baer, Ann Handley, Lewis Howe. It was amazing. So it was well worth that investment to fly, cross country to attend it. And so I do think my accountant also told me that I could either pay taxes or invest in my business.
Oh, that's definitely a driver.
The money's gone. The money's gone. So it's how you want to spend it. Either you're going to be paying taxes on this income, or you're going to have, business expenses against that income. And I was like, let me think about that. Mm-hmm. So there you have it. So
that's true.
Yeah, but anyway, no, I was going to go to Content Marketing World in October because it was not going to be at the same time as Inbound. I really liked Inbound. Last year I met Keenan. I met Q, Quentin Allums. He's another LinkedIn guy. A couple other, Melanie Diesel. I don't know. I could just go through the list of all the people that I met, and it was just phenomenal. It was really, so anyway, here we are. And Isaac, weren't we planning a little shindig in Kansas City? We were going to try to do something.
If you fly to Oklahoma City, let me know, and I'll call up Monty.
Yeah, no plans in the near future. I'll tell you that. Not until 2021. Yeah. So anyway,
I find when people ask me to do virtual summits this last, year and a half, even before COVID, my experience has been, it's like my benefit is just brand awareness. I don't tend to get even a bunch of awesome leads from that actually. And I find that the organizers usually work the sign-up list as much as they can for revenue. So they'll sell them some kind of package. And so then I end up investing some time in resources and whatever. That's cool. But my thing there is really just the big takeaway was brand awareness, not even so much immediate leads. So if you get asked, just know that going in.
Yeah, it's always good to have a good objective. Why am I doing this? Does this make sense? Is this a good use of time? Can I use the content? Can I leverage the network?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good validator too, just to, you can say, speaking at various things that validates you a bit too.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
You have the cred. One of my clients is in the accounting world, and they just came off of Engage 2020, which is the AICPA, CPA conference. That was a 5-day conference, and they did some interesting things. They had breakout rooms. They had some social events in the evening, like a comedy hour, and they had a Shark Tank guy on there, and so it was kind of interesting how they tried to mix it, but it was a 5-day deal. That's a lot of computer time, even in the background. So I don't know. This is our new normal. So here we are. But hey, you know what? There's like Andy Crestodina does a wine and web like twice a month. I don't know if you know Andy, Orbit Media. He does great content. He's an SEO guy, and I wouldn't have been able to attend those because those were typically in person. And when they started doing it online, it's in the evening. You get a glass of wine or whatever you want, and great content. And then, they've got good conversation, and it's really interesting. So you can make these things work, so I think it's how we take the limitations and challenge those limitations to find new ways to solve problems.
Yeah.
Hey, Tanya.
Hello.
Tanya, what part of town are you in? Are you downtown, Kansas, Missouri?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, right now I'm at my house because I left my laptop at home this morning, drove all the way to work in Olathe. Oh, no. Got there and I went, nah. Not going to do that again today. So I'm in Waldo area right now, but the office is in Olathe.
Nice. Waldo's cool. Probably for all you non-locals, Waldo's cool.
Yes, definitely.
You're probably all thinking, where's Waldo?
Yeah. That's a good one.
Thank you. I even got Paul to crack a smile.
When I was dating, people would actually ask me where Waldo is, and I thought they were joking a couple of times. And so I was like, ha, ha, ha. And then so I switched over to actually explaining where Waldo is. And they were like, it was a joke. It was like I could never win.
Nice. Nice. Hey, Jared, or anybody else, has anyone seen the list quantity upped from 1,500 on Pro? Still at 1,500?
Twice on my folks, we're using lead lists now. They're up to 1,000.
But is this still maxed at 1,500 on a Pro?
No, it's 5,000.
For not for team, but for pro.
Oh, for pro.
For pro?
Yeah.
What
Are
is
you
it at, bro?
I was just on Bryn's call the other day. She said everyone's got it, and I tried it. I put 1,200 people or so on 750 people on a lead list.
So
I'm sure it's at 5,000.
So the total saved leads on pro bumped up to 5,000.
I just started paying for team just to get to
Just
that.
downgrade,
it's 10,000
man.
on team. It's 10,000.
I have not personally verified that it's that 5,000 total, but I have gotten a message back from LinkedIn about saying that that lead lists were limited to were 1,000 apiece. I can't imagine that you'd have the lists bump up to 1,000 and still have the total
right.
100.
It's not 250 anymore for a particular list.
Right.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
That's compensation for taking tags away, I guess.
Yeah. And let me add to this. You're talking about something in terms of dealing with this. Was one of the things that we were just kind of working through, kind of the next level of our processes. And one of the things that we were figuring out is that, basically we're trying to figure out how to make use of saved searches and what to do about the new matches for the saved searches. And, there's this crappy thing that if you click on the saved searches, it's since the last time you clicked on the saved searches. So if you go in, so if your CEO goes in there to go, what are these? And then, they're gone. And, two things about that. First of all, there is a way that search actually does against a timestamp, and it says that search since, and there's some sort of serialized timestamp in there. I would love to figure out how to translate a date into that timestamp. If anyone be interested in taking that on with me, figure out what that conversion is. So because if we could do that, then we could figure out how to actually encode and get saved search matches since a certain date, because it's in there in the URL.
I used to manually code URLs. I had every single field coded to where it was equals a C, equals a D, equals an E for company size. And I've got a document that has all that other stuff in it.
We just have to figure out how to translate a date into the serialized number. It's not Excel's date serialization. It doesn't match that. So there's some way to do it. We need to just actually kind of reverse engineer it from some actual ones and see if we can figure that out.
So you copy the URL into a Google Doc and you start looking for it to try to see where it says distance equals 10. And I go, oh, let's make distance equals 7 and change it and run it, and it works.
It's just some long 10-digit number. It's milliseconds since 1/1/19, 2000.
Could be a Unix timestamp.
Yeah, it's something like that. So if some of y'all want to play with that with me, let's we can get that off. The other thing I was going to say, but in the process of figuring out what to do with that, we were dealing, and this is kind of always the issue with the tag list is, well, okay, you go run the search again. How do you prevent re-scrubbing all the ones that you've scrubbed out? And so
just remove.
Can't you look at the view, change the view to not view?
Yeah, but how do you know you've already looked at them before?
You don't have a circle / parameter, and you do with leads. So with leads,
we're looking at taking part of our scrubbing process is actually going to make a do not call or do not contact or unqualified list, so that we can exclude those from the scrubbing searches. So just something, if people haven't thought of that's a way to kind of to be able to keep using those, to use those saved searches. So if we can figure out how to do the saved searches, we can figure out the timestamp, and then you have a do not call list, then we can set our, say, we want people that match the saved search since June 1st and aren't on the do not call list, and that becomes a manageable list to go and review to scrub, and you don't keep re-scrubbing, you don't keep re-looking at the same people you've already scrubbed out.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the URL that you get from a saved search and look inside of there. And I think you'll be able to find something that you can relate back to.
It is. I just have to figure out what the math of it is.
That's right. You're
I know the parameter. I just need the math on
it. Have you tried just clicking the tab where it says changed jobs in the last 30 days and maybe hit that once a month?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's not always accurate. I've looked at some of those, and sometimes it's not. They haven't always changed jobs. They may have changed roles.
I'm doing what you describe, Isaac, with a client who's got an enterprise license. So I have a client who's on enterprise now. So I'll be able to bring back cool enterprise stuff to y'all.
Cool.
Nice.
And they're looking for folks that have changed jobs in the last 30 days or so. I think it is on that parameter. So they take that, and they've got 5,000 people, and 5,000 here, and we're putting them into we're sharing and trying to put them into the cloud and all. But here's the key point: they want to know the new people that have changed in the last 30 days. Instead of going through the list of them, we take the 30-day people, we add them to a lead list, / them. And then they only see the new folks every day. And they only call the folks that have changed jobs every couple days. They hone in on those folks like the day they change the job. They want to know like right then. Mm-hmm. So there's in that parameter. In the process, I got to share something we discovered with y'all. We're doing searches based on zip codes now. Mm-hmm. I normally try not to because they're kind of troublesome. You can put multiple zip codes in, right?
With comma, right?
But here's
you got to do them one at a time. You can't just go zip comma, zip comma, zip comma, zip comma, zip comma. You got to do them one at a time. I had 190 zips. 90 zips we had to do for someone to map out their territory. You can do a 1 mile radius now.
1 mile?
1 and 5 were just added. So I'm trying to do North San Diego, this area North San Diego that's different from regular San Diego, by putting in all the zip codes in Temecula and all these little places and stuff. And you can't do it comma, comma, comma. You got to do it one at a time. It took a long time, hour and a half to get like half of them done. It spins. The other thing is if you're doing zip codes at all, you've got to do them from the big screen on Sales Navigator. The side panel is buggy. It spins.
Yeah. I've noticed title too. I've seen that. It's been a problem.
With zip code, well, the title thing as well. Now the title thing is another story, but I'm just going to talk about the zip codes because I'm doing the zip code part, and I engineered it as well as you can. So I share that with the group, right? The ultimate engineering.
So two questions on that, Mike. What do you do now that people are working remotely? How do you know what zip code they put in? Is it their residential zip code? Are they changing it?
It's people put in their home zip.
They're putting their home zip.
People search pulls from the zip code on their profile. Company search pulls from the zip code on the company page.
Okay.
I'm not doing company searches, so I'm just doing people searches. But that's a really good. Thanks for that, Isaac. That makes sense. I mean, how else would you do it, right? Yeah. But it's nice to have said that. So yeah. I was gonna try to carpet bomb this area with a bunch of one mile searches all around there, and it still works. We found that you can do at least 60. I know that, and I'm guessing you could probably go to 100 or more. You just got to be willing to take the time. Oh my God. And then if you're going to do this, grab the URL at the top so you can save it down here and copy and paste that bunch of code into the next one so you don't have to do that next time. I think you can just code that URL.
Yeah, I would probably just put it into like a spreadsheet with the symbol find replace with your zip codes and then run it on a queue.
When you hard code the URL, I think if you hard code the URL, that's what I'm looking at now is get a whole bunch of these. I'm going to look at the URL and see if I can't just go comma space and hack it on in so I don't have to do the other 50. That's why we stopped. It wasn't me doing the 50 or so. Yeah. I hired someone else to do it. But I think that's the way to kind of get it done is to hack the code, to go comma and put in the, whatever, because there are a series. It's the same distance for every zip code, which makes sense. So I think there's just in the URL just a bunch of comma with the zip codes in it to do that. So that's what we're going to try. It's kind of a hack, but Scott was talking about URL hacks. It made me think of that.
For sure.
I have a question.
Sure.
Chatty Cathy today. Who has access to newsletters to create their own newsletter now?
I do not.
Have you seen where it is?
I don't have it.
Yeah.
Okay. A couple people are having them now, and they're setting them up. It's accessible if you go into your, if you click on your network icon on the top nav, okay, the two people thing there, you know, the top nav bar. On the left, you're going to see something there that says newsletters. Okay, so if you click on that, it's going to show you the newsletters that you're subscribed to. Now, to post a newsletter post or to create a newsletter, you go into on your home page icon, you click on write article. And at that point, it's supposed to give you a choice if you have it. So who knows how they're going to roll it out, but once
I don't have it. So there we go. Okay. Are you sure it's not going to show something next to write article, or you have to click on write article and it goes into it?
That's a good question, and I don't know, because it's, again, the chosen few, and I don't know if they're basing it on rolling it out, because like who's the gentleman, he published the book on Sales Navigator, Perry?
Yeah, Perry. I got Perry. That's one of my subscriptions.
And then Jeff, who I think is in this group occasionally, he has a newsletter now, Jeff Young, I think. A couple people have it. So will you use it when that becomes available? What do you think?
No.
I would use it, but it takes so much work to do like a good newsletter. It needs to be profitable.
What about just doing your tip, your 10-second tip or whatever?
I don't know. Maybe if that's quality enough, you know, they're so short. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, man. I also don't want to rely on LinkedIn for my audience also.
Right.
Because it's really, really hard to monetize people that are on a LinkedIn newsletter.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's cool. I just don't want it to be, I don't want to feel really cool about myself and then not make money.
I could see doing it to a niche. I have 15 clients that are all in the same industry. They're all franchisees of the same group. Going to have 20 or more pretty soon. I could see possibly doing a newsletter like that to them because I'm their LinkedIn guy and stuff. Maybe I'll take back what I said, but I got to see it to believe it. LinkedIn doesn't generally do a very good job on execution on these things. Lacking something in it.
Well, you receive, okay, if you publish the newsletter as the author,
right,
it does go out by email to the subscribers.
Does it? Because I'm not, my inbox is, I'm not seeing when they're updating it.
I wonder if maybe if you disabled it in your email communication at some point in time. But I've received in the past, when I was messing around with it, the actual newsletter gets emailed to me. But again, it's like you're receiving the newsletter. There's no call to action to go in any kind of funnel, and they can't like buy something as well. So it's nice, but those are really big restrictions.
Yeah,
it's like polls and other things. I'm going to wait and see how things filter out before I'm going to put too much energy into something. New stuff comes, fly by night stuff comes. Frankly, from LinkedIn, I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah.
And then it can go or it comes and it's got some restriction to it where you can't this or that, and I just gonna let you all figure it out for a month or two, and then I'll share your best ideas here, and then we can figure out what to do with it. But I'm not taking arrows in the chest on that one like I wasn't on polls either.
Well, polls and events, I know. It's just, it's not reliable. So just curious, you know.
Well, has anyone?
And I still miss LinkedIn Answers.
Oh, I love LinkedIn Answers. You know, do you know though, if you have Premium Navigator and you have access to Linda, or whatever you want to call it, LinkedIn Learning, go into those courses and look at the chat and see what kind of questions people are asking. And Bryn mentioned that on one of her trainings. She said that she went in there and it's a gold mine because there's conversations going on. There's questions that people are asking and you can respond to them and even connect with them. And so it's a great way if you reverse engineer that, to mine that for, building relationships.
Well, has anyone started to, or is anyone active on LinkedIn Stories now? Does everyone know about LinkedIn Stories? So it's basically like Instagram stories. They're posted for 24 hours. It hasn't been rolled out to everybody. I don't know. I think LinkedIn is becoming more of a Facebook, Instagram environment and moving away from business. So I don't know. I don't know.
It's a line they'll have to hold.
On the high end, they're getting more into data integration. I was just on these calls with the enterprise group, and there's cool. We're sucking data down right out of LinkedIn, right into Salesforce. I never thought I'd see the day where data would come right out of LinkedIn into a CRM, sucked out and put in and channeled in and tagged and everything.
What level is that though? Is that like
enterprise? It's enterprise.
Yeah. See, that's
now hold on. Let me share this though. Okay, it's not for us here.
Right.
But your clients buy a 10-user license for $12,000. That's not expensive.
$12,000 per year.
Per year.
Who has to be in the organization? Like I was thinking we should set up an
that's
association.
what I was going to ask.
Let's buy an enterprise level association and just make all of ourselves a part of that.
I think that would be possible. I think that would be possible. Seriously.
Or Mike, I was going to ask you about that today. So like as a service provider, then could you have an enterprise account and then when you bring on a client, can you just give them access so they don't have to pay for it?
Conceivable, yeah.
Interesting. But then what happens to?
They have to put that company as a current job on their profile. They have to have a sales navigator. With Salesforce, I have to add my Salesforce specific email address to my LinkedIn because they do some linking back there with the Salesforce specific email address and stuff. But you're not talking about CRM integration. You're just talking about the license.
I'm saying if you so if you work with a bunch of different companies and a barrier to conversion is, hey, you have to pay for your own Sales Nav Pro, can you just bring new clients into the umbrella of your enterprise account? And if so, do you see everybody on your team? How does that work?
Because teams share leads. Remember that? Because they rank you in your team and then they rank you because that's the whole
permissions. There's permissions and stuff that at the enterprise level that you have your grid of people and permissions and who can do what.
You can shut it down if you want. That's interesting. Interesting concepts. Probably
they added me. I'm one of their licensees. I have 2 Sales Navigator contracts now, an enterprise with them and a team with me.
Oh.
I would love to be able to just have all of our clients on enterprise.
But I'm not sure your clients are going to love that necessarily. I mean, they're really tied to you. There's no way to move somebody out, I don't believe, to a separate account. They're going to lose all their leads and all that sort of stuff if they're not a client again.
And as much as I hate that, it's another reason for them to stay around.
You didn't ask should you. You didn't ask should you, but the question was can you, and I believe so. And I believe we could get an enterprise license across all of us here. I believe we could do that.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Do you need to? Is the enterprise license associated with an organization? So everybody has to have that organization on as a current role on their profile?
That's correct.
That is really interesting.
It isn't designed for loose knit groups, if you know what I mean. Now you asked if you could, and I mean if you do X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, L. I think it's possible. I mean, you may find if you do all this work at the end that there's some little checkbox you can't check and you can't do it. But I've gone far enough with it. I've been on 2 calls, 2 of their enterprise team calls. I'm just an employee.
Ask for forgiveness.
I feel like as a service provider, that would be such a great asset to keep on building all that out, and
To
if
have
someone
like
leaves,
Yeah,
still got it
to
all.
have like an agency plan.
Right.
It
Yeah.
is.
That's
right.
that's
That's
the
right.
enterprise plan, and it gives you the enterprise capabilities, and you
Huh.
just
So you have
act on
one
your
person.
client.
One person creates the target list, and that's all they do, and then they just go share, 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 share with people. We were led to believe, and I'm finding that it may not have been, and we were very clear in our questions, that the leads belong to the company.
Yeah, that's how it is
Not to
when
any
you're.
If the
person.
company paid for it. Yeah, if the company's
We've
paying
not found a way. We found how you can share amongst people on the team, but we've not found a way that a lead list cannot belong to any person yet. We've got trouble tickets in because they specifically said that the leads belong to the company as people come and go and stuff. But there's no limits to it. There's no 1,000 limit to a lead list.
But think about this. We're connecting people to people. So
They keep the connections. They lose the saved lead status and all of the list that's in Sales Nav. It's like ending your Sales Navigator account when you leave the company.
Yeah, and the leads stay with the company. You're just an employee. You don't get to take the leads with you.
okay.
But the
If you have connected to them, then
If you're connected to them, your connections stay, but the leads, you're creating lead lists generally of folks you're not connected to. There are usually 2s and 3s on these lead lists.
Okay.
I'll keep reporting every week. I'll know a little bit more. We have a call every Friday, and it's been a real pain in the butt getting the system set up, though. Oh my God, you got to wait for an email that never comes.
Mhm.
You go, oh, it never comes, literally. And they finally on the back end had to do some stuff. I have a Salesforce license with them, so I'm on there. I have my own Salesforce account too, so there's 2 Salesforce accounts. Kind of complex, but it's pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. I'll share. Trust me, I'll spill all the beans with you.
So basically, if you get 10 people on board, it comes out to be $100 a month per user for enterprise, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Don't think about it in terms of the 10 and 10. When you're buying licenses like this, you got a 10 pack, but you're generally going to be running somewhere less than 10 on this. Because you got to go buy, I think you might need to go buy another 10 pack. I'm not sure exactly. I don't know what it's like for 12 users, whether you got to buy a 12 user license or not.
Yep. That's really interesting. See, I would love to be able to do that. I just would love to keep all the lists.
It makes sense. You don't have to have 10 users on it. The
Because of the
price-wise, with the
capacity,
extra features.
that unlimited lead list capacity is alone worth how much?
Yeah, one person could buy it for that reason alone.
All right.
You got to be making a lot of money.
I don't want to get in trouble either here.
What's one client worth? Maybe let's say you're selling something, a client's worth 20 grand. Well, you pay 12 grand for a whole year of your license.
Well,
and you think you might get one.
Hey, I'll just share that. Just share to everyone that off of the campaign that Mike and I are doing for our mutual client. These are 7-figure deals, and our client is on 6 sales calls today from this campaign.
Good job, guys.
He's at due diligence. He's at due diligence on 2 deals, NDAs to like a dozen, and 6 sales calls today. So anyone who sits there and says that this automation approach doesn't work for big real deals, I mean, yeah, we're getting a 20% connect, close to a 20% connect rate. We're getting a 20% response rate within that 20% the connected. So overall response on the campaign is 4%. Who cares? Because out of that 4% is 70 something qualified prospects.
And if you're doing something manually, the 4% plan is a little harder than when you're automating and doing the 4% plan.
Yeah. Oh, let me share one other thing kind of related to automation that this was interesting. So someone in Austin, an small IT services company that they specialize in IT services for small businesses, and sent a message and sent an automated message, clearly an automated message, not awful, not bad, wasn't too spammy, but him being in Austin, and I kind of engaged with him and stuff, and he then kind of apologized for, kind of with what I was talking about, he kind of apologized for the automation stuff, and he was, saying he was kind of new to it, and he felt, I forget what he used, he didn't use icky, but something like that, about that, feeling uncomfortable with it. And I kind of came back to him and I said, dude, it's not the automation. I said, it's the copywriting. It's a matter of being, not trying to just do one big, huge campaign, but being narrow enough in your targeting, and then focusing your language to that targeting to match.
Exactly, Scott.
And so now I've got a sales call with him.
Nice.
He's got a 3-month contract with whoever he's doing that with, and that's up in October, and he wants to talk to me about doing it right. So
cool.
It's the micro campaigns. I'm taking all my folks into micro campaigns as well. We're targeting one industry or sometimes two combined, like computer network and computer network security. And the message is about, ooh, network security stuff is so cool. And then with veterinarians, it's, ooh, dogs and cats are so cool. But it used to be like a broad category, and now we're going very niche-y on our messages, because I've got a system now where my connection request message, I just change like 8 words in it for each industry. And then that industry is very narrow, and we scrub the list of folks that don't qualify. So it's a scrub list. Now it's a lead list, a scrub lead list, and a very tight message. And the welcome message after they connect is 100% custom now. I broke the chain. So we used to do 5 automated messages. Now we do an automated invite, very specific. We do a fully custom welcome message, and the client does it. 5 a day. That's about how many they get. 5 a day. They can do that. And then if they don't respond for a week or two, we put them on an add to drip tag or lead list called add to drip, and I suck that in every week. And I put it into a 3 message messaging campaign. It's a drip. So they get a content message, and a call to action. But I broke this chain of 5 automated things and put this welcome piece that's real custom in the middle, so they can see that we know that they've got kids, or they like horses, or I don't making stuff up here, but whatever we gleaned about them, and they know it's not fully automated. And the tight welcome message to the audience, like Scott was talking about there, make that feel not so automated. This isn't, I help business owners do shit. I help veterinarians, find more broken bones. I don't know, but it's the niche targeting and messaging. It's the custom piece in the middle, and then they don't do anything for a while. Send them to drip. And I can continue that drip for 10 messages if I want. I can just keep adding on. We just do 3.
What tool are you using, Mike? How you expedite?
Ulink. We're using Ulink, and it's not available to the public.
So I got to talk to you if I want to get a license on that.
That's right. And I can get you a license on it. It's $75 a month.
Yeah,
it's a wonderful tool.
I've got 3.
It has 3 triggers in it for webhooks. When they connect, when we send a message, and when they respond. Isn't it cool to get a webhook link and a notification when something comes back from somebody?
That's we're now driving CRM. We're using this to drive. So the Ulink webhook is how we know to load them into Zoho, and we go get their contact information and load them into Zoho off of the fact that Ulink is telling us they connected.
Guys,
$75 a month. There's no better bargain for a tool than that.
I've got to run. I've got to take a call in a few minutes. So peace out, babe.
Peace out.
See ya.
So if I can just share a feature that they added, all the tools have added this, by the way. Most of the tools have. But when you sign up for an automation tool, it scrapes your existing network without doing a damn thing. it just grabs their email address, their phone number if it's listed, titles and stuff, slowly assembles this little sheet that had 30,000 rows in it for me. It took a week to populate it. But there's no campaign, no nothing. You get your existing data with the extended stuff just for buying the tool and letting it run. That's freaking cool. And then the deltas come with the webhooks. So you don't have
the deltas,
your existing network.
The deltas come?
Yeah, the webhooks. When someone connects,
gotcha.
They go onto a Google Sheet. When someone sends a message or responds, goes onto we program those onto a Google Sheet, and then from there they can go anywhere.
Cool.
So anyway, Judy's gone, but she's got a couple clients she wants to put on the system. So Judy, even though you're not here.
Real quick about me, my name is Deborah Eckerling. I am the author of Your Gold.
Anybody know what that is? This is Alfred. Hey, so did Paul figure out the date real quick before we wrap it up? You figure out the date on the?
It's in the chat. It's in the chat bar. It's the first 10 digits. It's a 13-digit number, and the first 10 digits of it are the Unix timestamp. So we know how to figure out what the date was of that URL. We know how to look and see what the date is that's in there. I haven't tested yet. We'll need to test. I need to figure out if the other 3 digits matter, because like I said, it's a 13-digit number. So can we just stick 000 randomly, or is there something else? That you can't. I don't think you'd be able to test. I mean, to see if it's 10-digit number will work. But like I said, those URLs have a 13-digit number, so we just need to test it the other direction to see if we can generate the URL that then produces the result we want.
Yeah.
So
because then you could go in there every day. You set it to 1 day, right? Or set it. Yeah.
Right. So I'll test that and get back to you. And I don't know if you got a way to message it. Well, I'll test and let it know, and I'll just let everyone know next week, or send it to you and send it to you, Isaac. And if you want to send it out, you can.
Oh yeah, or you can just share it next week if you want. It's cool with me.
Okay. We'll do that, and then it'll be recorded for anyone who wants to see it. So
cool. Anybody hit any road bumps this week? LinkedIn road bumps? No. I'm pretty excited. If this 5,000 on Pro is for real, I'm pretty excited because we're hitting a lot of people. Like yesterday, I was trying to save, and it blocked me at 1,500. So it might have just been the timing.
I'm surprised by that, but this is rolling out.
Yeah.
I just combined 4 of my 250 group lists into one. It worked fine.
So that's the list count. I'm talking about the total capacity of saved leads.
Oh, total capacity.
Yeah. But yeah,
you have total capacity over 1,500, Eric?
I'm on team, so I'm up,
Can't tell.
I haven't hit it yet.
I'm on team too, so I'm not going to be a good test on this stuff. But my clients are on regular, and we created a 750 person list. I know, so I know that parts.
Yeah, same. Yeah, like Scott was saying, it would be silly to have 1,000 list limit and only have 1,500 total. So I don't know.
Clients that are kept at 1,500.
Yeah,
and
Jared is too.
That are even up to 5,000.
Oh, and Pro?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm pretty excited.
Nice. I'm hoping they roll it out for everyone.
Dude, what's the max on team? If it's 5 10. Now for Pro, 10 for
10.
Nice. That's excellent.
Bryn told me this, and she spoke to the product manager. So I go right to the horse's mouth there. She says, that's what it is. If you don't have it now, you should be planning for that.
Nice.
Cool.
Until they take it away, and then we can.
I don't think they'll take it away.
I think there's an ulterior motive here somewhere. When LinkedIn does something, there's usually some motive that's not in our best interest for stuff.
I think they're going to integrate that kind of list with paid campaigns.
There's a decent idea.
I mean, I can't imagine why you wouldn't. You've already gone through the work of hand qualifying potential leads. Why wouldn't you want to pay to advertise to them if your team can't do the job through messaging and stuff.
Oh, well, that's exactly what we're planning on doing with because that's what we're figuring out to do. Like I said, 80%, 80% didn't connect, and another, 80% of those that did connect aren't responding to, aren't engaging. So yeah, I want to target those with ads.
Yep.
It's exactly what the target.
As many places as you can. Email, ads, remarketing, everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody have any data on like that 70% or 80% that doesn't respond either to connection? Is it just because they aren't interested, or is it more because they aren't on LinkedIn very often? They don't
I think it's a mixed bag. I don't have any numbers, but it's got to be a mixed bag. Anybody else? Anybody have any actual data on that?
I don't have any data on that.
It'd be hard to get that data because they don't want to talk to you. So
there's no.
If you did an email campaign specifically to the people who didn't respond with a similar message, and you had a certain percentage respond to that, then you indicate that it was perhaps that they just didn't see it. Don't do LinkedIn very much. Ignore it.
There can be so many.
Yeah, we're getting ready to run exactly that campaign. So we're working on building that out. Mike? What's that source that Jeff found for getting the email addresses?
Wizzo or something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Wizza. Here, let me tell you something about Wizza though, because I have an affiliate link with those guys, because we do email as well for people that don't accept the connect, but what Wizza and most email finding programs do is they'll grab the search results page, first name, last name, company, and then they'll use another tool to guess the company domain. They do not view the profile and then click through and view and scrape the company page to get the definitive domain. So just so you know, that is a shortcoming with Wizza and most other tools that do that as well. The only workaround I've found to actually get the for sure domain is Phantom Buster will visit the profile and the company page, and it'll grab the company domain. And then what I'll do is I'll grab that spreadsheet, and then I have first name, last name, and then I have the for sure company URL, and that is pretty good.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Our IT guy look at Phantom Buster.
Yep. Otherwise your bounce rate, yeah.
You get folks that have multiple current jobs, and that puts the wrench in just about everything that happens in my world. If someone's just got one job, things go nicely smooth.
Yeah, that's true.
It's when they don't. And I'm bad. I got 5, 6, 7 current jobs. I might have 10 now. I don't remember even. Speaker is one, trainer is another, campaigns is another. My retainer clients all show up as employers on my profile. So I'm really bad with that.
I saw a speaker one time who entered every speaking engagement they had done as a job.
So tacky. So tacky. Oh, hey, this is important.
Well, I know someone whose name I will not say here, but some of us know the name, who asks everyone he connects to do a recommendation for him.
Yeah.
He was out to be the most recommended man, and I think he marked himself as the most recommended man on LinkedIn.
God.
Whatever. If it works, power to him.
How's that for bold? We just connected. Can you recommend me? Oh. Sure, why not?
There's a.
Guys, I gotta run.
I did a blog post about a few years ago, but Benjamin Franklin wrote a letter about on recommendations. Someone had asked him to do a recommendation for their nephew or something, and who he had no idea. And it's this great letter of it writing this recommendation for this person he doesn't know. Look up Benjamin Franklin on recommendations, and it's hysterical as everything by Benjamin Franklin is.
have to check it out. Hey, really quick before you go, Mike, because I know you do this. With the new locations happening on free and business LinkedIn, did you see that post I did where like you can do like states in the normal search? They're adding new locations.
I got that. Yep.
Okay, so if you have any saved searches that are using for your business, the location breaks when it gets updated.
Only in LinkedIn.com, right?
The normal LinkedIn sales nav is fine, but if you have any like spreadsheets or if you're using anything that's pulling from the normal LinkedIn, the location breaks. Yeah, so like I'd had even the city, it was just the city was New York City greater area, and as soon as that account got the new location, it removed it from the search. So
wow, yeah, the code is different, right? The little whatever code in.
Yeah,
I had a whole bunch of URLs break on me a couple years ago too. I had to go back and re-engineer every freaking one of them for every client, because instead of distance equals, it would say like dist equals, and all the codes broke. I do got to run, guys. I'll see you next week.
All right, later.
Mike.
All right, well, we can just wrap it all up. Any final big important things? I'd like to hear if we can, the Unix thing with the date would be really cool. All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up.
See y'all.
See ya.
Next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.